Hey, my name's Minnix, and this is another guitar relaxation video in kind of a long series. And you know, a lot of people, they'll say, hey, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. I really don't care if you want to do any of that. I'm just making these videos because I felt like God wanted me to make these videos, and maybe you'll get something out of them. If you stumbled onto these videos somehow, then maybe it's for you. If it's not for you, just go on to the next video. But mainly I have a friend that's kind of struggling with some anxiety problems, and I thought maybe this might help, and maybe it might help you too. Maybe you've got some anxiety issues that need to be dealt with. And I hope that this technique that I'm teaching will actually help you. And if you have a friend that, you know, plays some guitar that has some problems, maybe it'll help them too. So I was thinking about tension and release, and how you know, there are storms in our life. You know, the Bible talks about how Jesus was in a really bad storm with his disciples, and they were worried and they were afraid and they were scared, and he woke up and he just said, "Peace, be still," and the whole storm just stopped. He has that kind of power to take care of the storms, but the storms show us that difference between the times of tension and the times of release, and you can have that when you're playing the guitar too. One of the things that I did at the beginning of this video, I'll see if you can see it, is I played the first fret of the second string, which is one that we haven't played yet, and that's not really the most lovely sound. But when you release it, it does make a really nice sound. So sometimes you need the tension in there. It's not your calling to live a completely stress-free life. You're gonna have stress. We all do. There's always something that wants to push our buttons and really mess with us. But the point is to know and to believe that there's going to come a point when that tension finally gets released. And maybe when you play that on your guitar and you learn how to add that into some of these techniques that we're going, it'll give you something to kind of think about. And you know, think about, hey, this stress, this garbage that's falling on me, that's going on in my life, it's not going to last forever. It's not going to be there constantly. There's going to come a point when it'll actually subside, and I can catch a breath and everything will be fine, and I'm not going to crack, and I'm not going to break, I'm not going to have a meltdown. And there are a lot of tension points. Some of them are good tensions, like this note right here at the 4th fret on the 2nd string. It's not too annoying. That's actually kind of an almost soothing sound, but just not quite. But it produces just enough tension that you want it released. And now compare this one, that 4th fret, to this one. Much darker. Some things in your life give you tension that you know, your friends might mean well, but maybe they aggravate you. But then other things are out there to hurt you and to get under your skin and to bother you and to tear you down. Just pray about it. And a lot of the best songs will have those tension and release moments, and they'll build up and build up and build up, and that's why we love music. You know, those are the kind of things that make the music interesting and worth listening to. And like I always say, you don't have to play as fast as me or anything, but the nice thing about being in open D tuning, D, A, D, F sharp, A, D, is that whatever you play is going to sound good with whatever I play. Feel free to throw in any of those techniques that we've talked about. Sliding and hammer-ons, pull-offs, tremolos, vibrato, or, you know, even bending. And remember, your pattern is 2, open, 2, 4, open, 2, 4, open, 2, 4, open, 1, 3, open, 2, 4, open, 2, 4. And anything you play in those notes is really going to sound nice. And if you want to, you can expand up to that 5th fret. And it'll just give you other things that you can play to just kind of, not things that you have to play, but that you just kind of play that helps you not be stressed out. Tension and release. Right there I'm playing this kind of a chord that's, I don't know what it is. It's just that note. It's the first fret of the, you know, the spot where it's 1 and 3 on the 3rd string down, and it's the 2nd fret of the next string down below that. That's a nice tension chord. So I hope you have a good day. That was a little lesson on tension and release that you can add to your playing. And God bless you. I'll be praying for you. Hi, my name is Minnix, and this is more in my series of videos on guitar for relaxation. And no, I'm not a trained music therapist or anything, but I was a pastor for a long time. I did a lot of pastoral counseling, and one thing that I know is that a lot of people really get stressed out about things. But you know what? Jesus said if you have faith like a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? And faith is not one of those things that is just something you've been given. This is it. This is how much faith you have. He says if you have it like a mustard seed, and a mustard seed is a tiny little seed, but it grows really fast and it grows really tall. And one time in one of my church plants that I was involved in, I gave a message about mustard seeds, and at the end I gave everybody a mustard seed and some dirt, and I told them to take it home and plant it. And one guy came back like just 2 weeks later, and he said, "You would not believe that mustard seed is like growing like crazy." And then like a couple weeks after that, he said, "It's like up to my window. I can see it when I look outside." And it grew really fast. Now my mustard seed that I planted actually died, but a lot of the other people's, it grew, you know. And that was the interesting thing about the mustard seed plant, is that it is a very fast growing plant. But a lot of times people say, "Well, I just don't have a lot of faith." Well, it's something you got to exercise. You know, you exercise your faith by trusting. You know, you say, "I'm going to believe that this is going to happen, and God's got my best interest, you know, in this situation. I'm going to believe that if I pray about this, that there is going to be an answer to my prayer." You know, it's not something that you're just innately born with. It says faith is a gift, you know. So if you don't feel like you have much faith, there was the guy that Jesus healed that he said, "Do you believe?" And the guy said, "Help my unbelief." You know, "I do believe, but help my unbelief." And Jesus said, "Okay," and he healed the guy. That's the kind of Jesus that I like to talk about. You know, that's what the Bible talks about. And I think that if you trust him, some of the stress and problems that are going on in your life, he can deal with them. And that's really what the essence of the blues is all about, is trying to figure out a way to deal with stress and misery in your life by getting it off your chest and by talking through it. Well, that's what we're doing when we're playing blues music. We're just talking through all that stress. And I've talked before about some blues places on the guitar when you're in open D, D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And this is kind of a completion of that. Any place that you play on the 5th fret or the 3rd fret, is going to sound bluesy. That one though, the F sharp, is a little iffy, so you can play the 1 and the 3 and the 4. And that's where you want to get those bends. Like when we're playing in the 2 and 4, that nice folky kind of a thing, that's not the best place to throw your bends, but when you want to practice those bending strings, that's good when you're on the 3 and the 5. And maybe you're in that kind of a mood. Maybe you're not ready for like some soft, tender 2 and 4. You want that crunchy stuff. And anything you play, if I'm playing this stuff, anything you play in 3 and 5, if you're up here, it's going to sound good while I'm down here. And sometimes you just need that kind of funky stuff to get it off your mind, you know. You just, I'm not going to think about that stuff today because it's aggravating me. I'm going to get bluesy. And I'm going to let it go. And I want to exercise faith, because if I say I put that in God's hands and I think God's going to take care of that, then I can go and enjoy playing some blues. And if you look kind of grumpy when you're doing it or in pain, it makes it that much better, right? There's something humorous about blues. Even though it's blues and it's dark and my baby left me kind of stuff, there's still a sense of humor to it, that it's like it's bad but I haven't lost my humor, because a lot of these licks just inherently have something, you know, light about them. I think I knocked my guitar out of tune a little bit, but that's okay. And now I moved on. I'm not playing just that one finger technique anymore. Now I'm kind of going back and forth between, I'm just kind of rocking my hand back and forth like this. I'm going 3rd fret, 5th fret with my pinky, or my pinky and my ring finger. If you have, like, maybe your pinky's weak, you can do it with your ring finger. You just kind of, or if your pinky and your ring finger are kind of weak, you can do it with both. Places I like to bend are right here. If you can see that. I like to bend here. I like to bend that one. Sometimes I like to bend that one. I like the vibrato right there. I don't like to bend there as much, but I do on that last note there. So those are just a few things that you can think about if you want to play some blues music, and maybe that'll reduce some of your stress and make you feel better. But until then, I'll be praying for you. I hope everything gets better in your life, and you hang in there. God bless you, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Hey, my name is Willie Minnix, and this is some more guitar relaxation techniques. What I'm doing in this little tune that I'm playing is I'm playing on the 5th fret and the 7th fret, which we haven't really worked on before, and I'm going to show you just a little quick technique. I like to make these little patterns. You know, open 2-4 is kind of a neat pattern, but then it changes to 1-3 here. Open 2-4, open 2-4. And again, for those who are new, this is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. But another really cool pattern, and I showed you the blues pattern, is in open 3-5 all the way across. But this pattern's really simple. It's open 5-7.
and it's all the way across. It's open 5/7. Every way you want to go. Now, if you're still on the kind of one finger stuff that we started with, you can do that. Or if you've kind of moved on and you're doing the two finger thing where you're going like index finger ring or index finger pinky, you can do that too. I find if you do the two finger approach, it's a little bit faster. And you can always connect these, okay? So if you want to play stuff in the open 2/4, it's up to you. You can do that because those notes are there and you can kind of mess around with them. It's all up to you. It's like playing with Legos. You get the option of how you want to stack those Legos up. Nobody has to tell you, hey, this is what you have to make. It's just fun. You can do whatever you want to, so you get to choose. And if you play on a little part for a while and you're like, you know what? I'm kind of bored with that. Then move and go to a different spot. It reminds me of a part in the Bible where Jesus told his disciples, if people reject you, you just dust the dust off your feet and you move on to the next town. You know, you don't have to stay in the same place if you're getting rejected and beat up on. You just keep moving. But if you feel like you're getting something, maybe you linger there for a minute. There were times when the Apostle Paul traveled around and he went to a place and he stayed for a long time and did a lot of ministry before it was time for him to move on. So maybe you need to linger in a spot for a while. Let there be silence. It doesn't always have to be filled up with music. And I'm kind of an anxious sort. So I want to be constantly fiddling and doing stuff. But sometimes it's good to force yourself just to stop. And let it hang and then just breathe. can find a lot of beautiful melodies right there in the 5 and the 7. And throw in, you know, some of the techniques. And it even connects with that bluesy stuff. If you need a little bit of it. I'm trying to make it so you can see it. And the other thing that you can do is you can go back and forth between the 4 and the 5, except when you get onto this one where it's 3 and it sounds like this. You don't have to play as fast as me. So that's kind of a twofer today. You get the 4 and the 5. And all the beautiful melodies that happen there. And then you get the 5 and the 7. And all the wonderful melodies that happen there. So, God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Check out the next video if this is helping you at all. And I'll see you later.